Hello everybody and welcome to JGod Gaming. Today's video I'm breaking down two different subscriber gameplays and kind of give you my insight on things that they could possibly change to help improve, or maybe point out some things that they actually do really well that maybe you should adopt. If you'd like to have your gameplay featured in any one of the future videos, remember to check out the description below. And then if at any point you do enjoy this video or these types of videos, please hit that like button. I do have a goal of 200 likes on these videos, so if you can help me get there, I'd be very appreciative of that. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn those notifications on if you want future content from this channel. Typically cover Call of Duty news, in-game updates, best class setup, subscriber breakdowns like you're seeing today, as well as how to improve videos on the channel. If any of that sounds interesting, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button. But what we're going to do is talk a little bit about the gameplay. I'm going to chop it up just a little bit because I've already gone through the gameplays multiple times and I've already segmented out the parts I want to talk about most. So let's go ahead and get into the first example. So for this first example, it happens right around the 9-minute mark, so in about 10 more seconds. And what you're going to see, it's a little bit of bad timing. Typically, when you push into this dock area to the right that you're going to see, typically you want to look at the dock. You don't want to look down or to the left or to the right. You just want to look directly at the dock. So as he comes through the dock right here, you're going to see as he pushes through the doorway after killing this guy, he ends up looking to the left. In reality, you never really want to look to that left. You pretty much want to look straight out, see what's going on. The guy was able to come up those stairs and clean him up, and he could have actually maintained that streak just a little bit longer. One thing this player did point out to me is that they tend to choke a lot on the 19, 20 plus streaks, and they wanted to figure out what they're doing wrong. What I noticed from this gameplay is they could have actually had a little bit better map awareness by dropping those paratroopers and either just dropping that streak entirely or dropping it to a lower streak like the fighter pilot. Because the time they got killed over there by the dockside, they would have had another recon plane, fighter plane. They would have already had a little bit more streaks for map awareness, versus they continue to cycle through these streaks. And every time they get paratroopers, they could have already had a second set of streaks. Right here you can see he could have already had the fighter pilot at 500 score. He cleans up really well, and he could have already had that fighter pilot, and he would have been able to cycle through and get those second, third, and fourth recons, which will give him way more map awareness than sitting on paratroopers. And I only bring that up because the part they mentioned about trying to go for V2s and choking on those streaks, obviously if you have lower streaks, you'll be able to cycle through better. But if you're just going for kills, paratroopers are a good way to go. So keep that in mind, depending on what philosophy you want to play with. I do skip ahead just a little bit to focus on this recon part because he would have already had his second recon at this point with his score. Because 500 plus 900, he would have already had a recon plane and had better positioning on where enemies are. When he goes right here, he's going in blind. He can good enough to get paratroopers, but he comes out and there's just way too many enemies on this side of the map, and the recon plane would have given that better map awareness. He ends up dying right there on like an 18 or 19 streak, and it's absolutely choked because of map awareness and trusting where teammates were. Based off the minimap, it looked like there was a ton of teammates in mid, that there's no way he should have been shot up mid, but he ends up getting shot in mid. So go figure, map awareness was key there. By having the lower streaks, he would have been able to chain those streaks just a little bit better to make sure he had that map awareness with that recon plane. So for this player, that's pretty much all I'd recommend, because based off what I saw with their gun skill, pretty much they could keep their same class setup. If they wanted to change something out, I would drop maybe quick draw for extended mags, because there were some scenarios where you pretty much would have had a little bit better gunfight and you would have been less tight on bullets. But overall, this player is pretty good. They're fairly accurate. They move around the map smart when they do have the available map awareness with their recon planes. But I would almost guarantee if they drop their streaks down just to recon, counter, and fighter pilot, they would actually chain more streaks together and they would actually demolish in TDM. Not that they're not now. They went 37-4. Obviously a good player to call on double paratroopers in a TDM match. But keep in mind that obviously if they're going for a V2, they should change that up a little bit. Little short commentary on theirs, because overall they just play really well. They center their weapon well, they land their shots, they position well, and they use S-mines with expeditionary very well. So they actually have a good grasp of all those elements. It's just about finding the right lobby. This looked like a very good lobby, and then it's just a matter of having that map awareness, because there's about 3 or 4 deaths that you had, pretty much all of them, that could have been pretty much prevented by having that extra map awareness. So let's go ahead and get into the second play. If you are enjoying the video so far, do remember to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Again, the goal is 200. So let's see how quick we can get there. Hopefully you guys can help me get there ASAP. So for this gameplay, it's a little bit different. We're going to be using the MG15 with resistance and using escalation. As far as the actual attachments, the attachments I wasn't really a fan of. They are using grip and extended mags, which is really nice. But the really problem I do see with the class setup is using FMJ instead of steady aim. Based off this playstyle, I saw several scenarios where the steady aim would have been very effective. They end up switching to a pistol often. Like you can see, he comes around the corner. He ends up looking at where the guy's at. He ends up turning around. He sees a guy and he switches to a pistol. I'm not sure why. If he had steady aim on, he could have just cleaned the guy up. He got lucky that the guy just was not that good. There's a lot of these engagements where he ends up winning, or if he was playing even a half decent or an average player, he would be getting demolished. That guy would absolutely demolish him. He was missing way too many shots. Also, this is another case of lowering streaks because they don't really get those recon planes on the regular basis. So they really don't have a lot of map awareness. They are kind of using the resistance as a crutch, but they do give away their position, and they tend to sit in middle map a lot. There's several times where they're just running through middle map, and that is probably the least advantageous position, especially since there's a lot going on. And then when they do get those little notifications on their mini map, they aren't positioned very well to take these gunfights. They're a little too aggressive. So a lot of their play just slow down a little bit, and you're going to win more gunfights, and you're going to be positioned for better success. The other problem I saw with this class is using the basic training called escalation, just because there weren't really that many double kills in this entire gameplay. They end up going 15 and 10, and they do miss a good amount of shots, but based off that ammo capacity, you really have to time your reload appropriately, and you should be fine, because basically the basic training did nothing the entire match. There were a lot of times where he knows where the guy's at. The guy just went mid-map. So now he's got to reposition. He just runs out in the open. Doesn't pre-aim at all until he already comes out the door. He's sitting right here looking, and then you're going to see he ends up running right through this door over here, right at the 8-minute mark. And you're going to see right here, he runs up and boom, right in the door. Knowing that there's a couple people in there, he should have sat on that barrel and did a little bit of a head glitch. Not always a fun maneuver, but when you know you're going into a room, you got to be pre-aiming. Comes out of spawn. That's kind of just a bad little engagement there. He kind of has an idea where the guy's at, so he does track him down. Does a good job of that, so that's something to keep in mind of. Obviously, you got to be aware of that. But a lot of things come down just more of that map awareness and pre-aiming. We're going to see it happen again in the next 10 seconds or so. It's going to be another case of map awareness and pre-aiming. After this initial engagement, he knows someone's in that window. So instead of pre-aiming, he just walks towards them. He could have been pre-aiming and been in a better position. Backed up, he has an LMG. Play to the strengths of the weapon. Give yourself some range, especially since we know there's a fire shotgunner on the map and several SMG users. Should have backed into the corner and then been ready to take those guys out. Same right here. He's just kind of firing his weapon blindly. There are a few people there. That's more of a bad timing. Can't really control that two people are coming in that door, playing pretty aggressive. So he is kind of in a bad spot. But overall, he tends to play a little bit more loose. Not really paying attention, not pre-aiming that much. As far as shots, it's a little bit struggling there. I know I'm being a little bit rough with the critique here, but a lot of the gunfights, he's just losing before he even starts, just because he's just walking out nonchalant, kind of walking around the map. And personally, if you're using the LMG, you should be somewhere near that window in the middle of the map, or on top of this section that he's firing in. Actually, the top of that part, he should be looking down into the other side, or even on the right side, sitting on that little box head glitch, kind of looking at that sideline or looking at the different angles. There's a lot of different angles that he could be looking at because he has an LMG. It's a 4-shot to kill at pretty much every range. Even with FMJ he has on, he's not really shooting through anything, so it's kind of a wasted attachment, personally, in my opinion. And then right here, you can see the mini-map it went through. And then he plays really aggressive. Picks up an SMG and just runs right into the door. He has an LMG. He knows people are coming in. He could have backed up. Easy death. So many easy deaths just from overly playing aggressive. Luckily, the lobby is not that amazing, or else he probably would have been like double negative for this match. But overall, he ends up going 15 and 10, like I said. There are a lot of things, but it's more just decision making. You're going to see him run right through middle again. He's done it several times. He just continues to go around. Looks like someone's flanking around the back. You can see him pop up in the back of his spawn. Right now, you can see him there in the back of the spawn. And he just pushes right through mid again. And there's too many sidelines. There's no teammates up here. No wonder why he gets shot in the back. It's just, I would say avoid the mid-map. Stay to those outside lanes. Play to the strength of your weapon. Not really a reason to switch to a pistol there. If he had steady aim, he could have absolutely melted that guy. Obviously, the guy's a fire shotgun, so it might have been a trade. But it's just something to be aware of. I would say, as far as the class setup goes, this is not one I would use. I can't really make too many recommendations because they want to use resistance. Obviously, use resistance. But overall, I would drop the FMJ for steady aim and just position yourself better on the map. Hopefully this was helpful. If you guys did enjoy the video, remember to hit that like button. If you'd like to be featured, check out the description below. And if you're still watching, make sure you subscribe with those notifications on. And then, as I've been doing at the end of a lot of my videos recently, is I've been giving a quick shout out to all of my members. And if you'd like to become a member, it's a subscriber who supports the channel on a monthly basis. go ahead and check out the description below, but here they are on screen for you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.